Have you ever wondered how a snow leopard survives the most brutal winter storms in the mountains? When a blizzard hits, freezing winds howl and the landscape turns into absolute chaos. But that beautiful creature doesn't run or panic. It simply curls up on a narrow cliffside, slows its breathing, and remains completely still. It lets the storm rage right over its fur, entirely untouched by the madness around it. Imagine carrying that exact same evolutionary mastery inside your own mind. Imagine navigating a world full of chaotic people, loud arguments, and hidden malice without losing your footing for a single second. It is a heavy silence that makes someone look at you during a heated confrontation and ask, "Why aren't you fighting back?" while you just look at them with a calm, serene smile. We live in a society deeply addicted to immediate reactions. We've been conditioned to treat our inner world like an emotional emergency room. And the moment someone attacks our character, our heart pounds, our face flushes, and every instinct tells us to scream, to defend our pride, and to match their toxicity with our own. But what if the highest form of power isn't winning the argument? What if the ultimate victory is refusing to enter the arena in the first place? Choosing not to react isn't about being passive or pretending you didn't hear them. It is an act of absolute strategic dominance over your own mind. The person who cannot be triggered is a person who can never be enslaved by someone else's chaos. We are taught that being loud means being strong, and that staying silent means you are weak. But your nervous system operates on a simple binary code. Am I safe or am I in danger? Every single time you get sucked into petty arguments, or spend hours playing out imaginary confrontations in your head with a toxic boss or a difficult partner, your brain registers an existential threat. It floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline, preparing your body for physical combat against a ghost. That is why you feel so profoundly drained at the end of the day. Your soul isn't tired because you work too hard. It is exhausted because you are constantly spending your vital energy on battles that do not matter. You are paying emotional rent to people who shouldn't even have a key to your mind. Fortunately, you can train your body to reject this stress response. Deep within your nervous system lies the vagus nerve, the highway of your body's relaxation response. You can activate it with a simple respiratory override. Inhale quietly for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and consciously extend the exhale for a full 8 seconds. Biochemically, your body cannot maintain panic when you breathe this way. It forces your heart rate to drop and signals your brain that the crisis is over. Practicing this intentional restraint physically remodels your brain. Over just a few weeks, your prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic and clarity, becomes denser. At the same time, the amygdala, the alarm system responsible for impulsive rage, begins to shrink. You aren't just acting calm to put on a show. You are building an unbreachable fortress inside your mind. Let's take a deep breath together and be completely honest. Leave a comment below and tell me, what is the specific trigger in your life right now that constantly tries to pull you out of your peace? Is it a text message, a certain personality at work, or the voice of your own anxiety? I read every single story, and we are going to unpack these patterns together. Once you understand the biology of peace, your perspective on human conflict shifts. You begin to look at toxic behavior not as a personal threat, but as a form of deep emotional poverty. Think about the chronic agitators in your life, the colleague who subtly undermines you, or the family member who wraps a cruel judgment inside a joke. They don't initiate these conflicts because they want resolution. They do it because they are starving for a reaction. Your anger or your frantic self-defense provides them with a temporary illusion of control. When you lose your temper, you are simply opening the buffet. You are giving them your light to cure their darkness. This is exactly why psychological counseling teaches the art of becoming emotionally uninteresting, the gray rock technique. When someone attempts to provoke a storm, you don't escalate, because that gives them friction. In reality, you remain present, yet entirely unavailable. You respond with absolute neutrality, making yourself as emotionally dull and unyielding as a common stone. If they try to force an escalation, Don't you even care about what I'm saying? You respond evenly, I am listening. I just don't have anything to add. If they attempt to push your boundaries, you simply nod and say, okay. There are no sharp edges for them to grab onto. This works on toxic adults, it works on bullies, and it even works on toddlers throwing a tantrum. When a toxic pattern receives zero emotional feedback, it naturally begins to wither. They get bored, they lose their momentum, and they are forced to take their chaos elsewhere. But remember a vital rule. Do not use your stillness as a weapon to manipulate how others view you. If you are maintaining your composure just to see how frustrated they get, you are still bound to their opinion. True autonomy means being calm solely for your own sake. In chemistry, noble gases like helium or neon never react with other volatile elements to form messy compounds. Why? Because their outermost electron shell is already perfectly balanced and complete. They don't need to borrow from anyone else, and they don't need to distort their nature just to fit into a chaotic environment. You need to become a noble gas in human form. You are allowed to feel the initial sting of an insult or the hot flash of anger in your chest. But you are under no obligation to perform those emotions for an audience that only wishes to weaponize them against you. Keep your depth for the rare individuals who treat your soul with reverence. If you have someone in your life right now who is constantly burning their own light to fight battles that don't matter, hit that share button and pass this message along. Let's remind them that their peace is worth protecting. When you fully commit to this level of internal mastery, the entire social dynamic around you begins to transform. In a world populated by fragile minds looking for the next emotional battlefield, an individual who is genuinely anchored and unmoved feels like an ancient mystery. You finally awaken to the ultimate paradigm shift of your personal growth. Their low opinion of you is a reflection of their character, not your emergency. And their inability to regulate their own mind is a problem you were never born to solve. True, unshakable freedom isn't the complete absence of noise in your life. It is the absolute presence of choice. You choose what gets access to your internal kingdom. You choose what is worthy of your sacred energy. You stay solid. You stay still. You navigate the world one deliberate, conscious breath at a time. And in that beautiful quietude, you realize the ultimate truth. You didn't have to fight harder to save your peace. You won the very moment you decided to step out of their theater forever. Milk and honey for your soul.